Hello everyone, welcome to Makeup and Recovery. Today we are going to talk about being grateful. And I think this is like a good place for me to be right now because I don't know, I get so comfortable in my misery. And it's not because of what anybody else is doing in my life, it's just me and just life in general, going through the same motions, doing the same thing every single day. And it just gets boring, and then you question life, and you question yourself, and you question what you're doing, and is this the right thing? Is this the wrong thing? I don't know. I'm good at being comfortable in my own misery. I'm good at that. I'm good at, if I'm content and okay, I'm good with being miserable. And, that's, a horrible place to be. Because that's how I was in recovery. You do the same thing over and over and over again, and you're running and running and running, and you're just so comfortable. You're miserable, but you're so comfortable because you know what you're doing, and you know your surroundings. You don't want change, and you don't want to better yourself. And then you just become miserable and ungrateful. And that's not a place where I necessarily want to be or need to be. Because I get in those spots where, I hate this, I hate this, I hate this. But, I don't even realize that... I guess I don't realize where I came from. I know, how far I've come. But it's as the years go on, you just become... I think that I just become a little bit more ungrateful for everything that I've, gained throughout recovery. I don't know, it's just really, important for me to just, remember where I came from. And then be grateful for everything I have now. Because when I got into recovery, I was so miserable, so ungrateful. I was just a horrible person. And I didn't know how to achieve or be grateful for anything. When I got into recovery, I wasn't those people that were oh, I'm so grateful. I'm just so happy that I'm clean. That wasn't me. So it took me a long time to actually realize that I wanted to be in recovery. And it took me a long time to realize how amazing recovery is and how grateful I am that somehow God put this in my situation. I have a friend, she's my best friend, and she was one of those people, I lived in the 3-quarter house and she lived there with me, and she was just so fucking happy. She was just so happy that she was in recovery and everything was good, and oh, I just love life because I'm in recovery. And I was I fucking hated her. I could not stand her. I did not want to be around her. I did not want to look at her. I did not want to talk to her. Nothing about her interested me because I didn't understand how somebody could get off drugs and be so happy at the time. But then, later on, I came to realize that, she was ready to stop using. She was ready to stop using, and she knew what she wanted, and she was just so grateful to be out of that pain, when all I wanted to do was go back to that pain. It's so weird. And now we're best friends. And we're, basically exactly alike. Actually, we're totally opposite. We're nothing alike. She's, the better version of me. She's involved, and she's caring, and she's that. You know what I mean? She's a mom, and she's good at it. And it's, throughout recovery, you see people change and grow, and she's definitely changed and grown. And I'm so grateful for the person that she actually is today. But back to me. Okay, so I hate her because, I wasn't ready to grow up, and I wasn't ready to grow, and I wasn't really able to be grateful at that time. And as recovery goes, you get grateful, and you go through recovery, and then you really want it, and then you decide you're going to stay, and then this is it for you. And I'm going to say the first, year that I really put forth effort into recovery, I was just so grateful. I was grateful for everything that came my way. I was grateful to have my own house. I was grateful to be with the people I was with. I was grateful my family was back in my life. I was grateful for all the opportunities that were coming my way with, working and stuff, because I didn't work for a long time before I got into recovery. Do any real work. But so I was really grateful for everything that came my way. I was just so grateful, and I was grateful for recovery, and I was grateful for all the people that were here. And as you go on with your life, I don't know, somewhere I bits and times and pieces, at my anniversary, I'm really grateful. I'm so grateful for and I am I am grateful. I am grateful for everything that's happened in my life. I truly am. But I think it's important to, remind yourself about how grateful you are. Because, you get in these spots, in recovery, out of recovery, just in life, you get into these spots where you're fuck. Is this it? Is this the end for me? What else is there? And like we forget about all like these hopes and dreams that we've had, and like we forget about before this, we were doing drugs and selling our bodies and doing all this crazy stuff to get money and to get drugs, and we don't have to live that way anymore. And like we forget that. We forget like all the pain and misery we went through to get to where we are today. It's just like a natural thing as time goes on. Like that's just how we are, and we get ungrateful. Like, and I hear it all the time. Like people are just so ungrateful for where they are in life because they need this and they did this and they want more and they want, you know what I mean? Like it's always like wants, never like needs. Like people always want more and more and more, and they just can't accept where they're at. And most of the time that's me too. Like I always want, like I want, and it's like, Susan, what do you need? What has been provided for you? What do you already have in your life? Like you don't need all these wants. Like you just need to be happy with where you are in life. Like you don't need the bigger house, the new car, all the makeup in the world. Like you don't need all that. Like you just need to be happy with where you are. And for me, I like tend to forget that. Like I tend to forget that like 6.5 years ago, I had nothing. Like I rolled into a 3/4 house with a bag of clothes, no family, no real friends, no food, no nothing. Like I had nothing. And you know what I mean? I tend to forget about all that, and I think about all the stuff I want now. But I don't know, our brains are so fucked up. It's just like human beings, not even addicts, it's just human beings. Like we always want to live outside of our means because our means is never enough. And it's like, when is that going to be enough? And I'm only talking about this today because like I've been like really like examining my life and like everything that I do and I spend my money on, and just like the people I allow in my life and the people the people that I like don't allow in my life for whatever reason it is. For me, it's like getting back to like the basics and like just being grateful. And being grateful for what I have in my life, and that I have a great job. Even though I don't always love my job, I do have a great job. And even though I don't always like the people, I don't know, I like the people around me. I like all of you. Even, you know what I mean? Like, even though like I want all this other stuff in life, like, like if I want it, I have to work towards it. It's not just going to come to me. And like, that's the reality situation. Like I want. But my problem is that I get so comfortable in whatever situation I'm in that I'm not willing to leave because I don't want to leave this like comfortable little bed that I have. Instead of trying something new and different. So I like stay in this little bubble because I don't want to get out of the bubble. And good stuff has happened in the bubble, but like great stuff can happen out of the bubble. And like that's like really what I need to realize is that like life, like there's life beyond like where I'm at today. And I worked really hard to be where I'm at today. So if I want to like move forward in life and like, have all these great opportunities happen to me, like I need to put myself out there and work just as hard for that. But I think like all starts with just being grateful. Like, you know what I mean? Like I need to like remember that like I worked real hard to get to where I'm at today, and like more good things will come as long as I stay grateful. And sometimes I miss that. A lot of the time I miss that. Like I forget, like I start bitching and complaining and this and all this stuff, and like I just forget like fuck, like this is where I was like when I got here, and like look how far I've worked, and like how grateful I truly am for everything that's in my life. It's all because of like recovery. And then I tend to say, oh well, I get complacent, and I get miserably complacent, you know what I mean? Like it's horrible, and I forget about like all that stuff. Like I feel like I don't want to go to a meeting. I don't want to talk to anybody in recovery. Like I like tell myself all this stuff, and like, oh, maybe I don't need meetings anymore. I've been clean for this long. But why have I been clean for this long? It's because people were there before me. People are going to be there after me, and there's meetings everywhere. Like that's why I've been okay for so long, because I've had these opportunities to go to these meetings and meet these amazing people. It's really important for me to stay like grateful and like stay open-minded and willing, because like sometimes I don't want to be grateful, and sometimes I don't want to go to meetings. Sometimes life kicks me in the ass, but like I know what I have to do, and that's like the cool thing. Like recovery's taught me, like if I don't want to go to a meeting, I go to a meeting, even though I don't go to that many anymore. I'm not going to like 12 a week anymore. I go to like 1 or 2. I reflect on life a lot, because like for me, if I can just get back to like being like that first year, like to where I was just so grateful for everything that came my way, then like life just works out. Like, and I have to remember that. Like I have to remember that For me, it's about being grateful, and it's about like loving the stuff that comes into your life, and like realizing that everything happens for a reason. And yeah, we go through struggles, but like you're already out of like the biggest struggle. There's like, after you're done using and you put down the drugs, like that's when life starts happening. And you know what I mean? Like that's, your struggle's over. Like, so these little things that I go through today that I'm like, oh, they're so big, and we like make mountains out of molehills, if I could talk today. And like today I was just bitching in my car about nothing to my fiance, like nothing. I'm surprised he listened to me as long as he did. And like, thank God for him too, because at least I have somebody to listen to me. And they say a grateful addict will never use, and I truly believe that. I think that we all struggle. It's a part of life. It's not an addict thing. Regular people, human people, earth people, they struggle too, and they just get through it. Like, we're so blessed that we have like the 12 steps and all these people who are in recovery to help us go through it, because they've probably been through it too in life. And these normal people, earth people, they don't have that kind of stuff. Like, they might have like one or two friends, but they don't have like the connections that we have to help each other get through it. And like, that's a really cool thing, is that I can call anybody and they can like help me through it. And it's just like, that's just recovery. And there's always somebody there for you. The blessings that I've gotten in recovery are like so much more than I could ever imagine. If somebody would have told me like all this stuff would have happened to me in recovery, I would never believed it. I'd be like, hell no, you're lying. Not gonna happen to me. Obviously you don't know me. But they all did. Like, all this great stuff's happening, and it continues to happen. So I think this was an important video for me to make, because like lately I haven't been grateful. Like, I have moments, but like I need to remind myself that I need to be grateful all the time. Life is wonderful, and if I continue to stay in this like recovery mode that I'm in, and do the next right thing, good things are still gonna happen. So I don't know, I think it's good to reflect on like where you were, where you're going. If you're not grateful, get grateful. Write a list of all the wonderful things happening in your life, because the good outweigh the bad, and when you think the bad outweigh the good always outweighs the bad. And if you're clean today, that's the first thing you put on your list. I'm clean. Like, sometimes, some days, that's all we have, is that you're just clean, and that's good enough. But to continue staying clean, you have to put forth the work and effort. It's not always easy, but I can tell you it's a lot easier than ripping and running and going out and using. And realize that you're a miracle. That any addict that does not use for just one day is a miracle. We'd like you to keep going though. 1, 2, 3. If I can do it, you can do it. Hit like, subscribe, get grateful, write a list, write a couple things down below about what you're grateful for, because I'm sure I'm grateful for the same things. Thank you for watching, and have a good night. Bye.